Mike. I'm not sure what you own, but this here is on the mark. Like a spiral from a 5-star recruit, we throwing darts, really focused. WD-40 couldn't stop the way we grind it. In the trenches, putting that work in, I relate to all my linemen. This is for the men, the boys do not belong here. Tiptoeing to the top, we doing cone drills. The hottest show in the world, you don't even gotta search. Steady putting in work, you see the sweat up on my shirt. They wasn't aware of us at first, we wasn't on their radar. Now every play that we make, they gon' say similar to a razor blade, we gon' stay sharp. The news ain't official if it's not on the mark.
Right here, 6 o'clock, you know what time it is. We're going to take you home, man. Listen, it's playoff time in Texas. You know what it is. I got two of my guys. Listen, it's DFW royalty. These guys know what it is about that gridiron. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know family. Right here, Kenny Matthews, FridayNightGlory.com, Inside High School Sports, DFW. First time for my guy Solomon Mays in the building. You know what I'm saying? I've been following, man. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Solomon, I've been following your work for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? This guy knows his stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to dive into Solomon before we get started because it's a first-time guest. You know what I'm saying? Come on in a little bit.
Let's do it.
But first of all, Solomon, you know, how did you get started? Obviously, you played ball. You know what I'm saying? Tell me where you played ball, college, and then, you know, how you got into what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from the Metroplex. I went to Bowie High School in Arlington. Played for Coach Giarman, who's there at Joshua now.
Yeah.
Came up in that program, Coach Perry.
Yeah.
Some tough stuff, but, you know, we made it work, had some success.
Right.
Went on to play some college ball at Texas Southern down in Houston.
Say less, Third Ward, Texas.
Yeah,
you
man,
know about the trade.
And
you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Miss them days sometimes.
You swinging and banging
yeah,
then.
for sure.
Yeah, already. Like, shout out to J-Mac. Hey, he didn't come back musty now.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got baptized.
No, already. Yes, sir. Now, shout out to J-Mac. He already watching. He talking about everybody musty. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come back musty. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, big dog.
Yeah, man. Came back, man. Joined the workforce. Got at it early, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm a hard worker, so
For
I knew
sure.
whatever I did, I would, you know, work hard and do great things at it.
Yeah.
But just wasn't really happy with things, and then I shout out Matt Stepp, and I've told him this before. I saw a vlog he was doing one time and traveling the state of Texas. I love road trips, always have, love sightseeing. I'm a weirdo in terms of Google Maps. I've seen just about every high school football stadium on Google Maps that you can look at. Just since high school, been an infatuation of mine. So I, you know, started getting back into it. And my dad, shout out to him. He always took me and my brothers to games. I, you know, was in middle school when Kyler Murray was playing. So
no doubt.
Allen, DeSoto, Skyline, back Samples and Ty were there. And so just got back into it and fell back in love with the game in a whole new way. So,
no doubt.
I love it, man. I love it.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, man. And you know what I'm saying? I saw your work before I ever met you. Then, you know, we kind of been, you know, tagging or conversing back on, you know, on social media for a couple of years.
Yes, sir.
And, you know what you're talking about. That's why you're in the building. That's why, you know, people follow you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we're here to talk about this playoff thing. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Do
It's by this round. I mean, like, you know, the matchups could be second or third round matchups. You know what I'm saying? In some of these matchups that we're going to dive into. We got a little extra time today because we're going to get long-winded a little bit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to talk about, but let's start at the top, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start west a little bit with North Crowley and Keller. Now, you know, people probably don't know a lot about Keller. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they're in a battle-tested district. Byron Nelson, Trinity, and, of course, you know, the number one team in the state, South Lake Carroll. I know that Coach Gates and those guys are not going to take this game lightly. You know, I think that North Crowley's deepest position is probably the receiver position. Demarion Mays, Demerson, you know, Hayden Green, Jeremy Cooper is tight end, Cade, all of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you think about this game.
Man, shout out Keller, man, making the playoffs this year.
Absolutely.
I got to see him early. They play Bowie, you know, my school, so I checked it out. Man, they have a very, very good mobile quarterback that can really do some damage with his feet. Hey, man, luck of the draw. You got the big dogs first round.
Right.
If you win, they'll make a movie about it.
Right.
It'll be that great.
Right.
But, hey, shout out making the playoff. I think North Crowley's going to handle business. I think just in the trenches, it's just too big of a mismatch.
Big.
In the playoffs, you know, that's – So shout out to Keller and the Indians making the playoffs, man. They've had a great season and a hell of a run.
Absolutely. Well, I think that, two of the backs that maybe people don't talk about, Jarrell Smith and Keontae Ingram. You know what I'm saying? Both in the 2027 class. Guess what, fellas? You got to deal with them again for another year. Kenny, this running game. Talk about it.
Well, that's my key to the game. I just think you roll Ingram to the, he can't run no more.
Right.
I mean, to me, you neutralize Keller's offense because they are sneaky good on offense. Yeah. I saw them against South Lake Carroll earlier this year. Right. They were able to move the ball on Carroll for, I guess, in the first and the fourth quarter again. Maybe some trash time there. I worry about Keller's defense. I don't think that they can stop the running game on a consistent basis. So that's the reason why I think that if North Crawley just sticks to their guns, run the football, don't try to get cute.
Right.
Keep Keller off the field. They should have no problems winning this game.
Absolutely, and they at home, and that's one of CISD Stadium is one of the best stadiums you'll ever see. The atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? They got that state championship banner up there now. You know what I'm saying? But if you ever been to that's one of the better ones in the Metroplex. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Coach Gates and Coach White and all those guys, Coach Harris. I think, the secondary's been one of those strong points for them as well. Jerry Outhouse Jr. had a pick 6 last week. You got Bradshaw. You got Braylon Cunningham, in my opinion, one of the best 2029s regardless of position in the state of Texas. They're loaded. I see what you want to say, Gary.
Well, I was just going to say, is this the first time in maybe the last 3 years they're not considered a favorite?
Well,
I shouldn't say maybe a favorite, but are they kind of flying underneath the radar just a little bit? The people are not expecting them to get to the fourth or the fifth round or the sixth round, to state this year.
Right.
Isn't that kind of what Gates wants? To try to.
Man, if there's any coach in Texas high school football that just wants to be the underdog, it's Coach Gates, man. I don't think they've lost that mentality. No. They've had a transitional season. Sure. They found themselves later in the season, man. I love that Keontae Ingram last year went from being the big bully to he's added finesse to his game now. He can absolutely. He has a little more go, a little more wiggle to him. But man, I think Coach Gates. I think he hears everything and says nothing.
Right.
And he loves it. And he's got his receipts, and he's scratching names off the list for sure.
Absolutely. Shout out to Gates. He does watch. You know what I'm saying? He will troll you. B-Rise, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to B-Rise. He on a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he will troll you. You know what I mean? No, but he's one of the most genuine coaches that you're going to find. This is one of my favorite coaching staffs, you know what I'm saying, in the state of Texas.
And you've been saying that for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been saying it from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I kind of caught on board with him 3 years ago, but yes, you've been saying it a long time.
Absolutely. Well, it's a program, you know what I mean? And that's, you've only lost a couple of games in 4 years, 4 straight district titles, 50 wins in your first 4 years.
That's impressive.
Saying something, you know what I'm saying? He's on his way to being one of those guys, you know what I'm saying? Capel and Plano. Now, I know you guys know about this one, you know what I'm saying? Plano, I think was a surprise team to me, you know what I'm saying? They got a very good running back, maybe people not talking about. Capel, Carter, Zingelman. Yep. You got this guy 6'4", 6'5", so track athlete, 400 meters. You know what I'm saying? They got to run. He can go, and he can pass it. Shout out to Coach Wiley. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Wiley is one of those coaches that maybe not a lot of people talk about. They didn't get all the glitz and glamour, but this guy coaches well. Go ahead, continue.
He was rooming for a lot of spots this year to make movements. So it was kind of surprising that he stayed there. Right. But I saw them against Waxahachie. We only got to see half of that game. I think that they were down one. I think it was 13-12 or whatever it may have been.
One of those rain games.
Rain out games there. Yeah. But the thing about Capel is what I really liked is that they graduated a ton of talent last year.
Eddie G.
Yes, and I mean they came back in a very, very tough district, and held their own this year with that kind of a turnover. That tells me the staff and the coach know what they're doing, and the people are buying into that. Right. For Plano, I saw them in that opening game against the Modesto Permian this year that they beat Permian. Yeah. Chance Cully is one of the most underrated players in the league. I should overlooked, maybe is a better word probably to say. He can ball. I'm not sure if they can score enough to beat Capel, though. Right. That's the problem there. I think that you look at the Plano scores that they had this year, they've scored a lot of points against Plano schools or teams that weren't But when they played top-tier teams, they did
Yeah.
not score. So I don't think they have enough to score. But I think it's a closer game than maybe a lot of people are anticipating there.
Absolutely.
Because just, Coppell's not the one that's going to be just putting the hammer on people and blowing them out by 30 or 28 points. So, but yes, I think it's a very interesting game still, though.
What you think, Son?
Yeah, and go back to what Kenny said, man. Last year, they graduated a lot. Edward Griffin, definitely one of, I said him, Keelan Russell, and my guy Noah Crowley were the best 3 quarterbacks I watched all
Jefferson.
year.
Yes.
Jefferson, thank
Yes.
you. And, man, they graduated everybody. I did not predict them to make the playoffs. I thought Hebron and Flowermount Marcus were going to step up and make that leap.
Right.
And Coach Wiley just said, like you said, he stayed, and he stayed for a reason. He knew
Right.
what was coming up. So
Right.
very
Right.
excited about that team. That's a young team. I think they're only scratching the surface.
Right.
I think Carter Zingham will take them as far as they will go as far as he takes them.
Yeah.
And shout out to Plano making the playoffs. It's always fun to see those names in the
Yeah,
bracket.
yeah,
It
yeah. I think that, this is a matchup maybe people might be sleeping on, but I like Coppell in this matchup. I think the coaching, that you mentioned, something to be said about development.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know what you got coming up, of course, Zingham had been flying under the radar. I met him a few years ago when he was still in middle school. You know what I'm saying? So I knew this was coming, and when I saw he was etched in as QB1, I kind of had an idea that might happen. And you got to shout out to Coach Wiley for the masterful job that he's done. Another game that I think both of y'all will be intrigued, and the more I look at this game, I think it's a great matchup, and that's Trinity and Lake Ridge. You know what I'm saying? This is a game in the trenches. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Who's the Mac Lineweaver at quarterback has been balling, and J.T. Harris, and guess who was on offense last week for Trinity?
Who was that?
John Meredith, playing some old, one of the top
Wait.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this might be a game. J.C. Cotton from Mansfield. Lake Ridge has been playing out of his mind. Deshaun Edwards, and then they got Felix Ojo as well.
in the
You know what I'm
trenches.
saying? Talk about it.
Yeah, man, I think this is one of the more even matchups you'll find in round one.
Yeah.
Lake Ridge definitely having a great year.
Yeah.
And they're balling. That Cotton kid is running the ball. It's going to be a lot of running. So if you
Absolutely.
got somewhere to go Friday night, this is the game to go to.
Right.
You're going to be out there.
Ain't gonna be that
about
many
8:30.
passes. Ain't gonna be that many
You're
passes.
going to be out there. And I like Trinity. They kind of had like a Longview year trying to expand
Yeah.
into that passing game.
Right.
I think they're having a little more hiccups than we're seeing with Longview because they've got
Yeah.
a talented young
Right.
wide receiver. But
Absolutely.
I still think Trinity is one of those teams. Hey, we're in the playoffs. We made it, and we're gonna get rolling. And looking forward to that
Bread
third
and
round
butter.
matchup with Allen.
Hey, when they come out in that haka, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It make you
man.
want to put your pads back on. You know what I'm saying?
Where's
Kenny,
my
you've
helmet?
been seeing it for years too. You know what I'm saying?
It's so
Trinity's
much
going to
fun.
be physical.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know that. What you think, Kenny?
Well, the thing also, I think Trinity had a reset about halfway through the season. They had that little blip there about game 2 through game 4 where they weren't playing very well. And there was a discussion if they were going to make the playoffs or not at that
Right.
point in time.
Right.
Righted the ship, got back to playing their kind of football, but they got to keep Deshaun Robinson contained. If
Yeah.
you don't do that, then
Yeah.
it can get away from you real quick
right.
because then it's making
Right.
you go into the pass mode, which
Right.
that's not their strength, is they go into the
Right.
pass mode. So,
Right.
but I do think that they do have a collective overall line of scrimmage on both sides. I think Trinity is the better team.
Yeah, I think Mansfield Lake Ridge played some great football. I was at the game against North Crowley. They came out 10-0, and then you get 52, 62 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a juggernaut. It's levels to it.
Yeah, for
But I
sure.
think that was the
big
reset they
burger.
need.
It's a big burger.
Well, it was the reset they need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think you definitely got to know. Shout out to my guy Noel Butler. He's in the slot over there. A guy that some people may not be talking about as well. Another big one, Allen Louisville. Now, on paper, this might look like a mismatch. But if Trey Williams, Trey Jamulin, and Tanel Hill got something to say about it,
Yes, sir.
I think we're talking about something. Kenny, you talked about Allen earlier a little bit off camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think Caleb Smith is the difference this year. They didn't have him last year. The quarterback has been playing great.
Right.
Couple of guys off the edge. That defense is only giving up a little bit over 100 yards passing. What's the strength of Louisville? The passing game.
Yes. Well, and I've seen Trey Louisville twice this year.
Right.
There was always that they graduated a lot on that offensive
They
line,
did.
and so there was a big expectation that they were just going to be able to refill those guys at that level.
Absolutely.
And that's not what took place. It took a while for that offensive line to start playing like Louisville Farmer football. I worry though about later in the season. Farmers were leaky on defense. That's what really just surprised me because the Farmers have been really good on defense the last 3 or 4 years. Yes, and if you look at those scores in that district, you know, they were very fortunate to beat Marcus. Yeah. You know, they're very in that game. Very fortunate to win that game. The thing I worry about, you know, Trey, he's good. I think he's going to make great plays. He doesn't throw to the other team.
Not very much.
Not very much.
Yeah.
But the one thing we talked about off camera is the Allen defense is tremendous. You got the Shaw kid on the one end over there.
Right.
You've got, I mean, they are locked down on defense. So you earn every yard you get.
Yeah.
But the Carter Harris kid, the wide receiver for them, he is the home run guy for them. He's
Absolutely.
got, 20-something catches and 600-something yards. The guy's
he
averaging
stretches the
30,
field.
32 yards a catch.
Yep.
I mean, that's unheard of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a football field on 3 catches.
Absolutely.
You know, so, I mean, it's you know, and I do worry about, I do for Louisville from a mental aspect. They lost to Allen 2 years ago in that rain field over there.
Well, the last 2 years, Allen's put them out the first round.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I also said to get to last year, I said, you know, sooner or later you got to get over that hump or it becomes a mental thing.
Right.
It's one or the other. So,
right.
Yes, I still think Allen will win this game, but I do think Louisville will make it competitive.
Absolutely. Well, I think the Farmers know that. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, everybody's kind of looking down on them. They had a couple losses late in the year. They started out one of the hottest teams.
Yeah,
they were ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
You know,
they're
what
undefeated.
Right.
I'm trying to think.
And they listen.
6-0. Right.
That's
we
the last.
We're
gonna get to this other team.
Yeah,
we're gonna get to this other team. But that's Byron Nelson's only one of those 2 losses.
Yeah.
What do you think about this game?
Man, I like it. It's the game I went to last year for the first round. And Allen, I think with all the parity this year, them and South Lake Carroll have been the most consistent 2 teams that have the path to the finals. And I think Allen looks good, man. Like you said, Joshua Shaw, Japri Wafer, that box is tough. They have, with North Crowley, they have one of the best secondaries. Maybe not be as big in recruiting. They got 2 big guys, but other than that, you know, kind of unheard. But Carter Harris, like you said, the deep ball threat. And I've said this. I said on the dub with Jay Mack and them.
Sure.
Louisville, I'm done analyzing them. I've been in probably more Louisville games than anybody last 2 years. And it goes like this. If they show up, Louisville can be any team in the state of Texas.
Right.
They have one of the deepest and best 2027 classes.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't show up, they'll almost lose to Flagman Marcus or be one and done. And that's I've been big on Louisville for 2 years. I told people last year, hey, watch out for these guys the next 2 years. They're healthy. They've got no excuses this year.
Yeah, there's another group in that same district with the 2027 class as well. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get to them in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But last one in this region, the 6AD1, South Grand Prairie, Lake Highlands. You know they met 6 times?
6 times
the
in
last
a row.
6 times.
6 times.
Yeah, 6 times in a row.
They have
when I
played.
was looking at this game, I did not know that.
When Diggs said that they have some kind of a loophole that the reason why this game's at the Gopher Bowl, if you play twice in a year, back to back,
Turns to a home and home
you can,
series?
Hey, they said
Makes
that's
sense.
what Diggs was saying. So they uncovered that also, that other gym, because I kept going. They finished second in district. How they're hosting?
Yeah.
You know, Lake Highlands. I didn't understand that part of it, but Diggs kind of explained it to me. So
Okay.
yeah. But
Wow.
6 times in a row is unbelievable.
Right. Well, I think the difference this year is the big arm of Chuck Smith. Yeah. He was a guy
Got
that's
weapons too.
He's got roads right there that he can just turn around, but he can slang it. And I think that's giving Lake Highlands a little bit more ability to spread the field and make plays outside the pocket with him. You know, Rhodes is going to get it. Their defenses play pretty well. But another team, Richardson in that district, just came alive this year. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about this game? Josiah Lucas, Cade Wallace from South Grand Prairie.
Yeah, I mean, we told them at the True Buzz beginning of this year.
Shout out to Big Buzz.
Yeah, but at the end of the summer at their media event, and both of them said they thought that they were going to have an excellent season this year.
Right.
We didn't know for sure if that was really, you know, you say those things, you're going,
says
you know, I was kind of like, all right, okay, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
But they kept winning games and scrappy games. Now, a lot of them were shootouts.
Right.
You know, so, you know, that scares me when you go in the playoffs if you have to try to outscore people. Because, you know, as the playoffs come here with the weather the way it is, you've got to make stops.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to get some punts. Yeah. But, yeah, you said it right. Wallace has played extremely well.
Absolutely.
I mean, Josiah's had a heck of a year.
Right.
I mean, he's almost unstoppable. But you got Eric Dickerson over there, Mr. Rhodes. I mean, if you look at the way he runs, that is ED. That is Sealy, Texas,
Smooth
all
glide.
day long. It is.
The thing about that, is when his back straighten up.
Yep.
It's 6.
It's 6.
That's what ED. They say he's like a gazelle.
Yeah.
ED. I'm talking about Eric Dickerson, and that's the reason SMU was so high on him. Go ahead, Solomon.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, I watched Lake Collins play against Forney that first game.
Right.
If you're a guy who just likes to watch high school football games, go back and watch
Yes.
that game.
Right.
Great game. Like you said, Chuck Smith coming from Highland Park.
Right.
He's probably been flying under the radar, but the best season I say that's gone unnoticed this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Single
He is-
season.
He is,
Yes.
single season.
Yeah.
Was that his
He's
6
added-
touchdown game?
Man, he has added a whole new element to that team. So they're
Right.
two-dimensional now. They had the 2 backs at the
For
beginning.
sure.
I know one went down.
Right.
But I think this one is another great first-round matchup.
Yeah.
It's going to go quickly as well. We just saw SGP play, my Bowie Volunteers last week.
For sure.
Shout out Coach Sam.
Yeah.
But that's a scary team.
Yeah.
Any given night,
Yeah.
they can put up 50 on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Coach Sam. We're going to get to Bowie, too, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Coach Sam. My guy, I was very impressed. I actually saw them play against Lamar, and I saw the SGP game. We're going to dive into that. Region 2 Dubbies, Rockwall Heath.
Man.
This is a tough one for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the running back Carter's arm for Heath. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a guy that had been talked about a lot around the Metroplex this year. And guess what grade he in? 27. And the
Love
quarterback's
that
coming
class.
back.
Love
The
that
2020,
class.
I've been saying it for years. You can rewind the tape.
Yeah.
2027 class in the state of Texas is the deepest.
Yes,
You
sir.
can get every position. Doesn't matter. You can go to DB, you can go to corner, you can go to running back, you can go to lineman. 27's deep.
Yeah.
And 29 is starting to approach that way. But back to this game, Dub East is undefeated.
For sure. And I think that's awesome. And a lot of teams had a lot of great years.
Right.
I don't know for sure if Prosper Nill's playing this game for Heath.
Yeah, he went out.
Yeah, if
He's
he's
a
on the
different-
field,
They're a different team. Yeah.
I would say if he's healthy and they make that second round, that game versus Duncanville,
Right.
it's going to be a great game. But for this game, if he's healthy, I think they're going to take this one home.
Absolutely.
And Carter Zam, like you said, that he runs
Phenomenal.
like a bully, and
Yeah.
then he's got that breakaway speed.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
And he's long and lean, about 6 feet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
a big boy.
And he catches. You know, he had a big catch where they won it in overtime.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So this is a team that can get hot. You know what I'm saying? But Dub East, Kenny. What do you think?
Think about the job that Coach Webb has done. If you remember when he got there, what he had to endure
Yeah, it was a
with
lot
the
of stuff going on.
lawsuits and all that
Already.
was going on
Yeah.
with the kids
Yeah.
being hospitalized in a short
Okay.
period, 2 period of time. You making the playoffs in the toughest district probably in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
We're talking about 5 teams.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's some that are tougher with 4, but
sure.
I mean, with 5, when Rockwall is not in the playoffs and they beat North Crowley in their backyard.
Absolutely.
So that tells you how competitive that
Yeah.
district was.
Right.
And also the thing about Heath is that, Wiley East has been really kind of inconsistent. We had expectations of them being better than they actually really were this year, and
Right.
they just never played to that level I think us
sure.
opponents at the beginning of the season thought they should have been.
Yeah.
I know we looked at some of those scores in that district, and that district's not awfully tough.
Right.
And there was a lot of games that were pretty close.
Right.
And so I think that when you show up on this, he's going to give you a track meet.
Absolutely.
A track meet. And
Yeah.
I don't know if Wiley East has enough explosiveness to handle a track meet
Right,
against them.
right. Well, I think it's a big game. Maybe not a lot of people talking about. This next one, I don't know about it because it's got a lock the gates mentality. Of course, it's Duncanville. Temple's coming up. Now, Temple's got one of the top edge rushers in Carlton in the country. But can he do it by himself? Temple's usually got skill positions. They're going to be talented. Duncanville, Ace and Theus, Trent Yancey, Zach Turner, Emmanuel Ellison, and then you got Barnes and KJ Ford and Edwards. Listen, I'm telling you right now, they got a lockdown corner in Victor Lincoln. Victor Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? Maximus Denson's been playing well, and Rivers just played well the last 2 weeks. Duncanville, this is kind of scary. Solomon, what you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe they're the favorite in that part of the bracket.
Yeah.
Collision course to Allen North Crowley, whoever wins that
Yeah,
matchup.
absolutely.
But yeah, man, they kind of started off kind of rough. They had the bye weeks and had to get it together. They got a young old line, and I know some people don't like. It can be an excuse,
Right.
But they're starting 3 sophomores this year,
Right.
And I think they've gotten better throughout the year,
Right.
But you just named them off the list,
Yeah.
They've got the games in now.
Yeah.
They've took their losses. They took
Yeah.
their beatings.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
playing Duncanville that week, Eat your dinner that night before. Eat a
Yeah.
good, strong dinner.
Eat your
'cause
Wheaties.
You're gonna need it.
Get your
48
protein
minutes.
bars, you know what I'm saying? Drink your Gatorade.
It's still
whatever.
Duncanville.
It's still Duncanville.
It's still Duncanville.
And Coach Reginald Samples is still on that
Still there.
sideline.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Duncanville's Duncanville, Kenny.
Well, and I think kind of like we said with North Carolina, are they flying under the radar a little bit, as in we've been talking about them for a solid 8 years going to the state championship game.
Right.
And now nobody's really even saying that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're got a giant that's over there going. And the thing about it is their defense is so good that Madison, all he has to do is just make sure he doesn't throw to the other team.
Right.
They don't have to turn over the football. They're going
Right.
to win football games just because of that.
Right.
So if you get anything consistent play from the quarterback spot, and I hate to put all that attention on him because that's kind of unfair a little bit, but they go as far as he goes.
Right.
He's got the keys to the
I
pool.
mean, he does. I mean, we said that with Russell the last 3 years when he was there. We said, man, they go as far as he does, playing well in the game. I mean, I know they lost the sophomore year when he played there. I mean, he played well.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault, the reason why they lost the
Right.
sophomore year. But
Right.
I said, it's the keys to it. I mean, you don't fumble the football and don't throw to the other team, you're back at Jerry World.
Yeah.
Play like you did against DeSoto. I don't see them losing again.
Yeah, 7 touchdowns. That's great.
That was the signature game against DeSoto this year.
Maximus the Great is his name for
For
reason.
sure.
I think he's destined. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to moms for the name. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, Duncanville is Duncanville, and this region's loaded. You got the Woodlands down south, Klein College, Bridgeland, North Forney. There's a legend looming. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this guy, we talked about this, before we came on. This is one of the most electric players in the country. You know what I'm saying? Committed, flipped this week to Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? But they got 2,000-yard backs running right now. All he got to do is go whoom, whoom. They got a guy outside in Bryce the Thrower Jr. that I don't think people talk about enough. Solid. This is a game against Saxe. Can't sleep on Saxe. Now, they've been kind of flying under the radar, but I think North Forney takes this one.
Yeah, I think Saxe had a really good senior class last year.
Yes.
In terms of defense in the trenches and the running back. And they had to rebuild. Like you said, the district this year just wasn't that tough. So they haven't had a lot of these big games, and this is going to be their first one, unfortunately.
Right.
North Forney, man, I mean, that backfield, I don't know if you'll find a better backfield. Anyway.
Might not find a faster one.
It's a fun fact I looked at this year. I'm looking at all the teams, and a lot of teams have not eclipsed 4,000 yards. They've done it rushing.
Right.
They have 4,000 rushing.
Rushing.
So as long as they keep that moving, I mean, until they find a team, because I think they struggle in the trenches a little bit, especially on offense. Yeah. Until they find a team that can take advantage of that, I think they're gonna have their way in that region.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at, you got Hatchie there as well, taking on Waco Midway. Yeah. That's a scary team. You know what I'm saying? I think that Cohen Brown's starting to get the ball like he should. Yeah. Smith as well. You can't kick it to him. You better not kick it to George Smith. I don't know why y'all keep kicking to this man. He gonna take it to the house.
Coppell did that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's special teams player of the year in 11-6A for sure. You know what I'm saying? And then this is one of those teams, Waxahachie. Shout out to Coach Tolley, that I think can get hot in a minute. They got it. You know what I'm saying? And then you got that train record in the safety position.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing I think we talked about this, I think, when I was here the last time. Tolley finally got it right. He built up the trenches to be able to play with the Sotos and the Duncanvilles. That's playoff proof.
For sure.
The trenches are.
Absolutely.
Now when you do sprinkle in, way above average skill position players.
Right, for sure.
Man, that makes your job so much easier than
much
at that
easier.
point in time. Because if one thing gets shut down, you still have another asset that you can use.
For sure.
That's what I think Waxahachie's got. They've got a balance.
They got
special
balance
teams. They can throw the football and they can run the football.
And they got a guy in the backfield in the sophomore Strange that's been playing. Not a lot of people talking about. You know what I'm saying? I was at the game when they played. We went to the scrimmage against Southlake, and I was at the Duncanville game. He's a difference this year. I think they didn't have that kind of explosiveness in the backfield, and then they got Snell. Hat bringer. Reminds me of Steve Atwater. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Bringing the wood.
Bringing the wood. I was standing right there. You know what I'm saying? The wood, the lumber, everything.
You know what I'm saying? They said he brings his pads with him on every
Absolutely. And guess what about Waxahachie? That 27 class, they still come back next year.
Yeah.
They might be better next year. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, in that region, I mean, I think you got to look at those teams. Now, we're going to touch on Region 3 a little bit, you know what I'm saying? The only reason I want to bring this up because last week, and Kenny texted me out the blue, man, what happened? So, first of all, you know what I'm saying, this is the Houston region.
Yeah.
I've been saying Summer Creek all year. And I talked to Kenny, you know what I'm saying? Anybody ask
CC
me about
King.
C. King, you know,
King.
tough. But I saw Summer Creek kind of bubbling at the beginning.
Sure.
Now, whether they beat North Shore, that's the difference. Who goose egg? I mean, somebody look that up.
Yeah.
Goose egg North Shore at home? That's never happened.
Yeah.
57 straight district wins. That hasn't happened in a long time. Noah Spinks, I think, is the difference in this team this year. You got Benny Easter and those guys. Solomon. This region is packed. You got Ridge Point, who I've been picking to come out, you know, in D1 out of the H. You got Lamar. Pearland's undefeated.
Pearland, yeah.
I mean, you got some heavy hitters in it. It's hard to come out of Houston. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say that top part of Region 3 is probably the toughest 3 rounds anybody's going to have to play.
Absolutely.
I mean, Ridge Point, I want to say they're the favorite in D1, I believe they're in. But it's just, this is what I've realized to come with Region 3. Yeah. It's going to be district rematches from 6A D1 to 5A D2.
Yeah.
It's going to be district matchups. Yeah. But I think Ridge Point this year has the chance.
They got
to be
the talent, but they got to get over the hump.
They have to.
Yeah.
We got to stop seeing District 23 and all these regional.
Absolutely.
So I think Ridge Point is the team that can do that.
Don't sleep on Dickinson either.
Absolutely, they're having a great year, man. It's just Dickinson, same thing. They just seem to can't get over that hump. When they
got seeded first round. They got to test the seed.
They
got to deal with Corday. They got to deal with Corday Mack.
We haven't even mentioned the test the seed yet.
I mean, they got Corday Mack first round.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Man.
Well, we talked a little bit about this, I think, at the halfway point of the season. Parity.
Yeah.
And I mean parity in a good way here, where it's really good teams, not mediocre teams.
Right.
And Houston's got a lot of really good teams. Do we have outstanding teams? Maybe not.
Right.
But we have a lot of really, really good football teams, and especially in that district. I mean,
absolutely.
If you get out of that district, you're proving that you can play, and you're going to have dog fights.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're going to have 2-3 dog fights. It's not going to be any blowout centrals in that, I don't think, in that point in time, because everybody is pretty evenly matched in that.
Yeah.
So if you're just a Texas football fan, watch that region.
Yeah.
Even if you have to do it by paper, whatever it is, dude, just watch those scores, because I think, man, that's you may be too beat up to do much after you get out of that region.
I mean, by the time you get to round 3, you're gonna be battle tested.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sure.
saying? It's one of those things where, you know, it's tough to come out of the H. You know, real talk. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, the parity, like we said, around the state is just second to none. I think this is the biggest year. You know, we always talk about Duncanville, North Shore, DeSoto. You can throw North Carolina, South Lake, Westlake.
Yep.
You know, you can throw
Vandergrift,
Lake Travis in there as well.
Lake Travis.
Those are the usual suspects, but now we got some guys kind of nudging at them. You know what I'm saying?
They level the playing field.
They level the playing field. Man, listen, we're going to shout out a couple people that's tapping in the comments, man. Aaron Valencia, shout out to J Mac, you know what I'm saying? Courtney, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Deke. My guy Matthew Bryce tapping in as well, man. Jamal Allen Sr., you know what I'm saying? Tristan Sanders, shout out to my guy down in the H tapping in. Man, appreciate everybody. Drop some comments. Let us know you're watching, man. But let's get to D2, you know what I'm saying? I talked about Byron Nelson earlier. Parker Amanza. He's a tight end. Committed to Baylor. When I saw him against Louisville, I knew that this guy's an athlete.
Yeah.
Spinning it. You know what I'm saying? And I said, this is a playoff team right there. And they took Louisville, you know, I think it was a couple of touchdowns or maybe a field goal here and there. But they got a tough Mansfield team to deal with. What you think, Solomon?
Yeah, I talked to Parker Almanza right before the season, and shout out to the Almanza family, man.
Absolutely.
Great family. Right. And he told me, hey, I'm moving a quarterback this year. I'm like, okay, they just going to be running the ball.
Right.
You're going to have 40 carries a night. And I watched that friendship game, and I'm like, oh, he's playing quarterback.
Slanging that rock.
Man, that's another tough team. I kind of knew they were going to be the second best team in that district this year.
Yeah.
Just seeing how they started off. And I'm very excited about that team. I think that he's another one of those cases where they'll go as far as he can take them.
Right.
He's got the talent around them. They're coming up too, man. Those trenches, they're getting a lot of what I call the Polynesian movement is
Absolutely.
starting to shift over towards Byron
Absolutely.
Nelson.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for them this year, especially for Parker Almanza's senior year.
Yeah.
But that's a team to be on the lookout for the next couple
Absolutely.
of years.
But Mansfield's going to give them some trouble.
Yeah.
Got a good wide receiver over there.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. One of the best in the country.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have to play some D over there.
Isn't Byron Nelson one of the? I call him gritty.
Yeah.
I think they're a really gritty team. They play hard.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're not going to come out there and generally just knock you off the line of scrimmage and all that, but they come hard.
Right.
And I think that would be the difference in this game. I think that they just have a little bit more grittiness than Mansfield does.
Yeah.
And they also got, I think, a little bit more playoff experience with this kind of group over here with
Yeah.
the coaches and staff that go in here.
Right.
But I think that's a really kind of the under the radar game too. Nobody's talking really about that game there. And I said, if I was just a paying person to go, thank God I don't have to. But that would be a game you can just walk up and enjoy. Even if you don't have a rooting interest, because I think that that's going to be a really good game to watch for sure.
Absolutely. But this is the other 2027 team that I want to talk about. Rock Hill, shout out to Rock Hill. They fought to make the playoffs.
Yes,
What
they
you get
did.
the first round?
They fought.
They fought to get there.
They fought to get there, man.
What's your prize, though?
There was a lot of doubt that they were going to get there. I mean, and they had some big wins down the now. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm referencing this on the point of reference of just trying to get into the playoffs. It's not the same level that they're about to play on Friday for sure.
They about to get a heavy
Rock
dose of
Hill
carbs.
was dead in the woods,
Right.
dude. And for them to play the way they did down the stretch, I mean, that was
Absolutely.
big for them to get into the playoffs. Right. And that's something that team really needed to have. The morale around
Absolutely.
Rock Hill right now, athletic-wise,
Right.
which you wouldn't think is pretty low.
Yeah.
And so for them to get into playoffs, that can matriculate to the other sports to give them some hope on that. But yes, if you're talking about lining up in that district to lining up what you're about to do on Friday, that's night and day, buddy.
I mean, I think they're going to get a heavy dose of carbs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Caden Cobbs. He's been phenomenal this year, maybe probably one of the rushers that not a lot of people talk about. Carter Morgan's been playing at a phenomenal level. Quarterback, wide receiver, whatever they want him to do. You know what I'm saying? Glasgow as well. Then you got to go to the defense. You know what I'm saying? What can you say defensively about Guy?
Man, I mean, that defensive line.
Say
I mean,
less.
just the All-American and the All-State defensive tackle, and then the other guys. Yeah, Darian Neal coming up in class 27.
And he's a hooper.
Man, they're athletic. Then guy, I mean, Zane Rose a hooper, not moved tight end, but played
Plays
tight end.
end.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said about Cobbs, man, Cobbs is kind of like Parker Almanza. It's like, okay, we're gonna plug him in at running back. He's gonna just, man, that dude.
Linebacker, safety,
That is
committed to
bully.
Illinois.
That is
Yeah.
a bully
Well,
at running
it's
back.
in his blood. His brother. I used to
Yeah.
call him the closer.
Yeah.
Yes, I said the
That was my
closer.
favorite running
I
back.
said, how many times does the younger brother live up to the expectations the older brother established?
Not
done
often.
that.
He's done that.
He's done that
In his own way.
And-
Shout out to Pops,
Yeah.
too. Pound
Bell
and Rock.
Coach.
Coach Cobbs, man.
Yeah.
Been knowing that family for a while, and it's great to see the young pupil come up, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jesuit Arlington Lamar. Now I'm gonna start with you because I know you. This Arlington is your bag. It's my guy coming back. My guy Williams, the linebacker's been out.
Yeah, man.
I think that's what they're missing on defense.
Yeah, for sure. But luckily for them, they got a kid at quarterback, Jaden Shaw, that can put it on the ground and go.
What class is he in?
Class 27. They got the running back Thomas that can go. So I've seen, Jesuit this year, they kind of have not had a typical Jesuit year, how they
got the
kind of
lowdown
had
on
the
that.
last couple 10 years or so. But I think Lamar can sneak away. I think they're one of those teams that is going to upset some teams in the playoffs.
Right.
I know they barely made it in the playoffs, but they've clicked at the right time, and that is all that matters, is being better than the other team on that day.
Yeah.
So watch out for Arlington Lamar.
Yeah, I watched that game against Bowie, and they were right there. Pruitt, the TCU commit,
Man.
you know what I'm saying? This is one of the best receivers in the state
Yeah.
that people ain't been talking about.
Yeah.
The running back Thomas was so impressed with him. And I met Shaw a couple of years ago when he was a sophomore. He didn't get his chance last year.
Yeah.
But this year, he had a great offseason as well. He can run it, he can throw it. I think he gives them a little balance that maybe they don't. They might sneak up on speed. This is an interesting game. Jesuit's no slouch.
Yeah. I'll say this, Mark. One of the most impressive things when I watched that Lamar Arlington game, and Arlington got up 21-0 with their backup quarterback.
Right.
I mean, a lot of teams, heads down, morale's over with. Hey, we'll come back next week. Jaden Shaw stepped up, man. He never put his head down. That team, they showed heart. They showed grit. They showed toughness. And that stuff is important in these playoff games because you're going to get rainy games. You're going to not click on something, and you need to have that that morale to pull yourself through and keep going.
Absolutely. What you think, Kenny?
Well, and this is the year to catch Jesuit. They were on a down year this year. I did the Jesuit Hebron game, the first game of the year, and they didn't score a touchdown. Yeah. Now Jesuit, over all this, when Hickman's been there, they've been able to score.
Yeah.
Now they've been giving up as quick as they score, but they struggled offensively almost all year long until they started playing the Irving schools. That's when they started being able to put those threes and seven. Yeah, your stat stuffers. Absolutely. Right. Now, I will say this. Coach Hickman told me after the first game of the year that they were going to get better. They did get more competitive. They did get better. I just worry about you got better against inferior competition. You didn't get better against good competition. Right. That's the reason why I think they're gonna get beat on Friday.
Yeah. Now, I know most people are going to think this next game is going to be a blowout, and it might be. But I think this is the game that Crowley can muck things up and kind of – if I'm Crowley, I'm throwing everything but the kitchen sink. You know what I'm saying? They got one of the best receivers in the country in the 2027 class, and then Tavius Ellis, recent Nebraska commit, Brandon Ford on D.
Big country on the line.
Absolutely. Who's been picking up some steam.
Yes, sir.
They got a great running back. They could make this difficult for Southlake. This may not be as easy. Now, I do Southlake. I think they'll eventually win it. But I think Coach Lynn might have something for them. They on the road. Everybody thinks they're not going to win. They kind of got into the playoffs. In the back door, Kenny. I know this on paper looks like a blowout, but probably might could give them a little run.
Well, they may have one thing going for them. Southlake Carroll's due for a B game. They're due. So I'm going to give you that. But I think when you see 10,000 Dragon fans tomorrow night,
everybody's hair blonde.
And
it's going down.
I mean, Southlake Carroll, the embarrassment of riches with the wide receiver crew the way they are. Penn did not have the year that we anticipated that he was going to have this year just because he didn't have to carry it.
He didn't have to.
And there's no offense to him.
Biggers.
And there was no, he could, and Randis, he clipped at a 77% of his passes this year. Yeah. He threw 6 300-yard games this year, and he didn't play in the fourth quarter in any of those games this year. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to say, you lock up Tristan Derry, who's a Michigan guy, as a junior, 2027. Yep. Luke Wilson on the left side, 2027. Oklahoma commit. I mean, show me the weakness on this team.
There's not. The defense is salty, too. Yes. Shout out to my guy, Jake Lutsky, in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Chin at DB.
That is one of my favorite players in the DFW. William Chin, man. That kid is one of the most you have
technically
to check him out.
sound, man. Nasty.
And he can hit.
And brings the hat. That's what I was.
And how many times can we said Southlake Carroll's offense is great, but we always say, okay, well, they've been mediocre on defense. This is the first time in a long time since I've been in the business you could say, man, they got to really stop down defense too.
Right.
And I mean, so when they need to get a stop, they can get stops.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I think, God bless your soul, they scratched and clawed to get into playoffs. They earned their way. I think Coach Lynn has done a great job over there being in the backyard of North Crowley all the time, being the little brother. He gets picked on.
Yeah.
But I said, now you're going up against Goliath tomorrow.
Crowley's young in some spots. I think they're gonna be better next year. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna have a chance to really, step up next year. Again, 2027, 28 classes over in that area. Stout. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get to the big one right here. Bowie, Berkner. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bowie. Shout out to Coach Sam. Winning second straight district.
Yes, sir.
Second straight district
First
title.
Time in history, back to back.
Back to back.
First time.
Always some talent at Bowie they hadn't been able to get over the hump. Is this the time they get out the first round?
Oh, absolutely. I think, and shout out Berkner, man. They had a good year.
A real good team.
Had a signature
They got
win.
a dangerous receiver, too.
And shout out Coach Parrish over there, man. My guy played with him in high school.
So they can move the football.
They can. I think it'll be an exciting game, but I do think Bowie will take this one. And I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go all out on them because I can this round.
Absolutely.
We got Prosper next round, and if we win that Southlake, so I'm all in for Bowie this week. Let's get that dub. Let's have a 12-week season, a 13-week season. But yeah, I think Bowie's clicking, man. The defense has had questions all year.
Right.
And then last week they said, hey, we play defense. And we
Right.
shut down one of the top offenses in the
Yes,
DFW.
absolutely.
So, like I said, right time.
Yeah.
Right
They
time.
always had an answer last week.
Yeah.
You know, they never got it to a single until it was very late.
Well,
you know,
I think this was the chance that
Yeah.
they got tested too. Their
Yes.
will got
Yes,
tested.
absolutely.
They were up, and SGP fought back.
Yeah.
It was a field goal game, 24-21. I think was the final score.
Yes,
so I agree.
But, you know, they scored late to get it within that extra, you know, but it seemed like they always had that little margin that you know, like they did this, they did an answer here. And I thought they stepped up big considering the fact that, you know, going into that game, you thought, man, they're going to have to score 42 to win this game against
Right.
South Grand Prairie.
Absolutely.
And then you didn't have to.
No.
You
Right.
know, so that's huge for them. I do think they will beat Berkner, but I do think that Berkner, one thing they can do is they can move the football.
yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be
Yeah.
interested to see if you can beat your rival, like beat a big game,
Yeah.
then turn around 7 days later, and have
Yeah.
to ratchet it up again and do it again. That's
Deal with another high-powered
yes,
offense.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be a little tricky.
Right.
That can be a little tricky.
Well, I think that goes back to Coach Sam and those guys over there. They really, you know, embracing that. You know, to them, they're kind of underdogs because it's always been Martin.
Yeah.
It's always been, you know, Arlington. You know,
Colts.
why not talk about the Volunteers? You know what I'm saying? District championship 2 years in a row. I think you got to say something. Region 2, we start off with Longview. Question is which Longview shows up. You know what I'm saying? Solomon, I know you've been following these guys pretty good. I think Herndon is really starting to turn the corner.
Yeah.
I saw him against Sock. And I think Hamilton brings that element they haven't had in a long time in the passing game. But it's still Longview. You know what I'm saying? You still got the imprint of the Longview Lobos. And if you ever been to a game in Longview, it's a dude that be howling the whole time. I swear. I mean,
I've heard.
the thing about Longview, you got to go to a game.
Yes.
So the home side is all season
love it.
ticket.
I love
So
it.
ticket holders.
Okay.
The trees.
If you don't, it's like between the hedges at
Yes,
Georgia, which
the
we don't see this
trees,
week.
yes.
Hook 'em, you know what I'm saying? But
Awesome.
I think this Longview team grew up a little bit these last couple of weeks. They, you know, had a tough one against North Forney. Defense has got to tighten up some things. Kenny, what you think?
Well, and I
They got
think it's-
Rowlett.
Yeah, and they got Rowlett. And I think the thing, I think they will win first. They will beat Rowlett. Rowlett came from that same district we talked about earlier,
Right,
playing,
right,
you know,
right.
Satsy, and it's
Right.
not. It's not. That's not me for me to worry about.
Yeah.
I think it's Johnny Hamilton. He is the key to this team here. If they can get Washington running the football, just say 100 yards a game, and Hamilton can play, you know, pretty clean football.
Yeah.
They got a shot at making a run in here. It's
Right.
just that. Have we gotten both of them to do that at the same time? It seems like there's always been an inconsistency there, and I don't know. Maybe there is just a hangover not having your coach on that sidelines. I don't know. I mean, I know it's week 11 now.
Yeah.
But you know, you're always looking to that sideline and not seeing Coach King there. That's
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, especially for young kids that grew up in that
I was
area.
going to say, he's been there since they were kids, and they
Yes.
grew up seeing him there.
You know, so
Yeah.
it seems like there's always been a little focus not been right, and I can't put my hand on it and exactly tell you what it is, but it's
Right.
been choppy
Right.
for Longview. Now,
Yeah.
for Longview, they still make the playoffs, they're still good and all that, you know, but it's just been a choppy season.
Yeah, it's been still Lobo up. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're running into with the next team, you know, and I think they want them. You know what I'm saying? Based on last year, and that's the DeSoto Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy, Sarad Baker, Booby Feaster, and those guys. This is not last year's or the year before's DeSoto team. I think this team is grittier. You know, they go on the road and nationally they see everybody, they get thumbs. Oh, what's going on with DeSoto? What's going on? What happened? I come back, I see them against North Crowley. That looked like the DeSoto I knew. Now, Legend Howell was out, but he's back. He's giving them the ability to put Sarad Baker where he needs to be, whether it's at receiver, he can still come in at Wildcat. You know, if you get my money, I think he's the district MVP. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think this is a big year
that
for Baker.
versatile.
And then you can always go out to the number one receiver in the country and get you know, you got
He's
that.
just out there.
Weren't we crying about those first 2 week stats too? Was like
69 yards.
Yeah,
in 2
69
games.
and 2 yards.
Now, if
And
y'all
now
know,
he's got
we know Booby pretty well. Everybody knows he wasn't tripping.
No,
you know what I'm saying. And,
no.
and he came back stronger in the
Strong.
second half of the season.
And
they got a Copper's Cove.
Yeah.
What do you think about this one?
Shout out RG3, but they'll be in a layup line.
They going to the crib.
Yeah, but that Longview DeSoto matchup, I think Alvarado and Sulphur Springs, besides that one, is going to be the biggest game in round two.
Yeah.
For sure. But
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
DeSoto, man. excuse me, that first week against Creekside, and Creekside's had a great year.
Yeah.
They got mauled in the trenches, man.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the question going this year is how are they going to handle it in the trenches?
Right.
And that offensive line and defensive line has gotten so much better
Right.
between then and now.
Even the secondary as well.
Man, and all
Lots
of
of
DeSoto,
improvement.
like I said, Boobie Feaster had 69 yards the first 2 games, and he got 1,000 over the next 8.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Sarah Baker is doing unreal things.
Yeah.
They're clicking at the right time. Another one of
Absolutely.
those teams, man. Watch out for.
Absolutely. Well, I got to talk about Forney. Shout out to J.O. Nelson Peterson's come alive the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
For all the people that say he couldn't pass and he couldn't do this, he's come alive. I happened to see a little bit of that game they played the week before, and he was closing them out with the touchdown run. You know what I'm saying? I think Forney's a sleeper in this particular bracket, Kenny.
Well, I mean, we got the Amari Jahil too, kid.
Absolutely.
That I think is under the radar, even though he's going to Tech.
Right.
I mean, he's still a little bit. We don't talk about him enough.
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
I think for Forney, can we get a pulse defensively?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
That's
thing.
the Achilles heel.
You can't run Osborne 60 times again.
Right.
To keep the defense off the field. I mean, they're going to have to get some stops up front, and that's the one thing that worries about me for them making a deep run is being
Absolutely.
that defensive line is 4th and 1. Can you stop somebody?
Right.
And I'm not sure that they're equipped to do that. But they got a great running back. That
One
you
of the
can
best
just give
in the
him. You just give him the ball and just watch.
And the thing about it is he's getting better each week.
Yeah.
That's terrible for defense, Solomon.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like y'all said, I like their offensive line, man. They're 2 tackles, both 20-27. Yeah. And the guard, the Cabrera kid. I really like them. I think they're another one of those cases where Peterson will take them as far as he takes them. That's how far they'll go.
Absolutely.
And he's kind of been like Jameis Winston. I talked to J Mac about him. Like he's Jameis Winston. He's gonna throw a lot of touchdowns. He's gonna throw a lot of interceptions.
Right.
So his turnover margin is gonna determine how far they go in these playoffs.
Absolutely.
But they have a chance to make it to that 4th round.
I think they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In that particular bracket. Region 3, we're going to skate over a little bit. We talked about Summer Creek. Katie's in there as well. Memorial. Hightower.
3rd round game between Katie and who? Oh, gosh, I've forgotten. But they said
Was Summer Creek?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Summer
Summer
Creek. Yeah,
Creek.
Summer Creek. Thank you.
Winner of that will probably play Seed King. Like I said, district rematches all in Region 3.
Right. Yeah. That's why we're not going to spend that much time on it. It is what it is. It's the usual suspects down south. You know what I'm saying? Now, 5AD1 is interesting. Yeah. We all know who's coming here. Yeah. We all. I think I see the rematch coming. You know what I'm saying? Part 4. You know what I'm saying?
Part 4, yeah.
Den Ryan, Alito, crash course. You know what I'm saying? Solomon, I'll start with you. Alito Bearcats are back. Best defense in the state for sure. What do you think about these guys? I think, Caden Wingfield, is one of the better backs that maybe people don't talk about. Mm-hmm. The defense is stingy for Alito.
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of noticed that in them last year. He just was behind a really good running back. But, yeah, man, Alito, Denton Ryan are definitely 2 favorites in their top region.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be another fun one because Denton Ryan's all defense, too.
Yeah.
I think both teams I think Alito's not really struggling offensively anymore. They haven't been tested since Denton Ryan, of course.
For sure.
Which they didn't put up a lot of points. But Alito's kind of opposite of Bowie. Bowie's mindset to me is we're going to outscore you.
Right.
Alito, we're going to outscore you, but we're both going to score under 20 points.
Alito wants to beat you up.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. And that's a physical game. And I think that's where they're going to kind of cruise to that Denton Ryan rematch.
Yeah. But, another team I like in that region is Richland. Shout out to my guy, Jason
Gibson.
You've
been pushing him.
2027 class. Look, Jason Gibson is one of the best running backs in the state, in my opinion. Speed, power, everything you want, he can catch. They just in the same region with these guys that's in their districts.
Yes.
And that goes testament to Alito. He had 86 yards against
They the only one to hold him at 100.
He's averaging almost 200 rushing yards a game.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Alito's front
Alito's
seven.
offensive line.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Peyton Williams. You know what I'm saying?
I know we're up against it, but Alito's offensive line.
Yeah.
Difference.
Yeah.
That's difference. That's the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team in that particular area, Abilene's playing well out west. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at those guys. But I still think it's a Den Ryan Alito show again in that particular region. Now, Region 2, this is where the cornbread gets to our eyes right here. Lone Star. Man, shout out to Trey Wright. You know what I'm saying? My guy, Davion Gross, and, of course, Carice Hart and those guys. And they got one of the best safeties in the country as well. Lone Star's loaded.
Jordan Deck.
They got to get it, though.
Yeah.
This is where, one of those teams, one of those programs that's been flying under the radar were not flying on the radar. They just get there and they hadn't been able to finish it.
Yeah.
Whether it was an overtime loss. Kenny, you had a great game last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tell me about Lone Star. You got a chance to see him.
I've seen him twice or 3 times this year, and
Yeah.
it's been choppy. They played choppy against the Frisco early in the year. Frisco was in the game with them when you thought we were going to blow out. Last week when they play Reedy, the Harn kid gets knocked out in the second quarter, breaks his collarbone. The quarterback.
That was this year?
It was this year. He got
Okay.
in the second
Lincoln
quarter.
Horn.
Yeah.
He's out?
Yeah, he's out. Broke
He's
his
a great
collarbone.
man.
Yeah, so Reedy had to bring in the wide receiver to come play quarterback last week.
Right.
You think that the hammer's going to come from Lone Star's offense? It's a dogfight in that game.
Right.
So I don't know if getting Gross in the middle of the season kind of threw them off a little bit. Then they lose the Ryder Mix kid to an injury that's
Right.
going to Oklahoma, the tight end.
Right.
It just seems like it hasn't been consistent, and I can't put my hand on it. But I will tell you this: they got to get better defensively if they want to get to state. They're going to have to shore up defensively for me to be able to pick them to go to state. Because
Matthew, shout out to Bryce. He said he got Lone Star winning Region 2. Highland Park's defense has to really tighten up if they want to win that region. Solid.
Yes.
I agree with Kenny, and that goes for both of those teams.
Both of those
when that
teams,
matchup
yeah.
comes. Their defense is going to have to show up. I mean,
Right.
Midlothian showed last week, hey, this defense from Highland Park can be picked apart.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got the speed outside.
Yes.
Right.
But yeah, for Lone Star, I agree with Kenny a lot, man. We know the talent they have. We know they're absolutely loaded. But these last 2 weeks have kind of, made us scratch our head. Especially, I mean, you're playing against a second string quarterback. I know it's big rivalry games.
Yeah.
And those every year you got to kind of,
I
throw out the records, but it shouldn't have been that close.
And Reedy's not as talented as Lone Star.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the other thing, and if you erase the quarterback in the second quarter, that game should not have been close at all.
Should have been more separate.
I mean, if anything, David Gross and those guys should have been wearing fitted caps in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Another intriguing matchup is Frisco and West Mesquite. Shout out to Coach Jack.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about the Wranglers a lot. They got that first hiccup against Princeton, which is a very good team.
Yeah.
Quarterback was good.
Oh, he's a dog. and they ran into some issues with injuries. I think West Mesquite has a chance to make it to third round. Go ahead, Solomon.
I think West Mesquite is going to get that rematch against Midlothian, but
Yeah.
at the same time, Frisco has had a year that nobody expected.
Yeah.
And I mean, we always hear about these Cinderella teams that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count that game straight to West Mesquite just yet, but I do think they have a good chance of getting that rematch versus Midlow.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's anybody's game. But shout out Coach Steven Jackson at West Mesquite, what they've been doing.
The
Very
last 2
impressive.
seasons.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
So, and like I told Jay Mack, if he gets a program eventually that has the dogs,
Yeah.
he's gonna
He
be
gonna win
an
a state
18
championship.
for
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Yeah. That coaching staff over there has got some guys on it too.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned Highland Park. Shout out to Buck Randall, 2027 class again. You know what I'm saying?
Unreal year, yeah.
I think that these guys, they left some food on the table, left a little meat on the bone. They got to taste at that state championship last year, and they didn't close it out, Kenny.
Well, and you got Cannon Bozeman healthy again.
Yeah.
He missed games at the beginning of the year, which is
Right.
big for them.
Yeah.
Again, it's defense, and I hate to harp on that because
Right.
you don't want Buck to have to throw for 400 yards every game to win.
you
That's
don't.
standing, and you don't want that to happen. But the collision course is there.
Yeah.
For those two teams to meet,
Yeah.
there's no question in me. I mean, besides an injury to a quarterback, that should be
Right.
our matchup there. But I mean, having Bozeman back healthy to me makes that team so much better because he's
Right.
he's a dynamic one. He's your game breaker.
Right.
He's the guy that can go 70 yards on you in a minute. So you
Yeah.
can't creep up on. And they've got a sneaky running game at times.
Yeah.
It's sneaky.
Yeah.
It goes under the radar for sure,
Yeah.
but it's a little sneaky.
Well, is Buck leading them in rushing too?
Yeah, I think he's
That's
got
what I thought.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
I think he's got 12 TDs rushing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
something
saying.
crazy like
He-
that.
he's
dude.
actually
Yeah.
the second leading rusher. I think
Okay.
their leading rusher is a kid that after watching them throughout the season, I think is one of definitely the most underrated kid. I know we keep saying that, but
Yeah.
Matthew White,
Yeah.
he's
White.
the
Yes,
sneaky
okay.
running back
Right.
He's
who,
sneaky.
who line up in the backfield and
Yeah.
go for 7-8 yards a carry. And he's been
Yeah.
able to propel that offense, especially
Yeah.
while Bozeman was out. The Cullum kid, number
Yeah.
4, has been holding it down. They've got a talented receiver core.
Right.
Offensive line questionable,
Right.
and that's deep in the play. I mean,
And their
Midlothian,
defensive line graduation last year, so
Yep.
that's been another
absolutely.
strength. Last year,
and
I thought
Midlow's
that-
big. Midlow's big, strong country football that
Already.
you gotta be ready for.
You got to be ready
so
for
that
it.
worries me a bit in the offensive line. But
Now, I'm
yeah,
gonna
Buck
shoot-
Randall can do it.
I'm going to shoot way down south before we come back up to 3. Smithson Valley, Region 4, I think it's just, do we agree in that?
yes.
Smithson Valley is
Valley.
physical.
Yes.
They're 9-1. I think they're coming back to AT&T. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think so, too.
mean,
I think so, too.
we don't disagree on that.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
And there's no disrespect to them. It's just how it played out. They have the easiest road of
Oh, so-
anybody
yeah.
to make it to at least the fifth round.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Shout out to my guy B. Damone down in SA. He's been screaming Smithson Valley for the last couple of years, and I think now Region 3 is a little muddy. I think it's Angleton and LaPorte to lose.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Sean Simon, if y'all hadn't seen this 2028 running back, is a dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Peyton Smith on the outside. They play defense there. This was the district title game there as well. I think it's between those
District
two
rematch?
teams. Yeah, it's gonna be again. That's why I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. But
it's a rematch.
I will go a little east to Port Arthur Memorial.
Yeah.
Memorial.
Gotta watch
That's
out for them.
yeah. They got some
Those
guys
Trojans,
down there.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's out of those 3 teams, and them consolidated. It's not nobody to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, let's get to the nitty gritty, you know, before we get out of here. And that's 5AD too. I know y'all want to talk about this.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? you got to start up north with this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Argyle. You know what I'm saying? Who's been a perennial power, taking on Lovejoy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the other Coach Dodge. You know what I'm saying?
The real coach.
The real Coach Dodge, the OG. You know what I'm saying?
OG.
Does Argyle kind of play down to this, Solomon, or do they go ahead and take care of business?
I think Argyle, if y'all watched that game last year versus Sock, Argyle got beat.
Trenches.
There's no other way to put it.
They got beat up.
And I think, and then to start the season against Lone Star, they got
Beat. Yeah.
and they have shown they've shown for the rest of the season that, hey, we know what just happened.
Right.
We're not gonna let it happen again.
Right.
And Lovejoy, I think the best game this year they put up was against Melissa.
Right.
But other than that, they've been
Didn't Lovejoy beat Anna?
no.
No.
It was the other way.
Melissa beat
45,
Anna.
Melissa beat Anna.
Yeah.
That's right. Like
Yeah,
Melissa
it was
did.
45,
Yeah,
14.
Yeah.
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 So
Melissa
I
did.
mean, Lovejoy, you know, we always talk about the second year hump for Coach Dodge and what he typically does in second year. I don't see it. I think Argyle wins this one.
Yeah.
And then sees Walnut Grove next
I
week.
think with Lovejoy, they don't have the talent level that graduated last year.
Yeah.
Left the cupboard a little bare this year.
Right.
You know, especially in the trenches, I think, for it is.
For sure.
And Argyle, I remember talking to Coach Rogers 2 years ago. He thought this was the class that was going to get him back into making a really deep run here.
Right.
Got to do it now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
They're senior heavy.
Yeah, they're senior heavy. They need to do
outside
it
of
now.
Julian Caldwell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, you got gas person there. I mean, you know, so you've got the advantage at the quarterback spot also in there. So
Right.
I think this is the year that they have to make a run for sure.
Absolutely. Probably the most intriguing game. Shout out to Pastor Tesson. Where Pastor I ain't seen Pastor this week. You know what I'm saying?
He said he's
He
going
say-
0 dark 30. this week.
Already. Pastor, please stand up. Anna Mansfield Timberview, Coach Coleman has done a masterful job. Braylon Barnett, if you don't know who this guy is, another 2027 playmaker on both sides of the football. Should be newcomer of the year, first team all district, even player of the year, probably up for it in that district. DeAndre Williams, Anna.
Yes.
You know, these guys, listen, I think that this is a big game, probably in this region, probably the biggest game all week this week. You know what I'm saying? What you think about it?
Man, I like it. You know, we talked about Texas Southern. I think this one's going to have a bit of an HBCU vibe
Absolutely.
to it. So I like it. Shout out Coach Coleman. We talked about how he was going to change things at Timberview, and we're seeing it.
Quickly.
I think
Yeah.
offensively, it's going to be tough for them because Anna might not be the best in terms of defense. They're
Right.
going to put up 45 points a game.
Yeah.
So Timberview, that's where they struggle. Their
Can they
defense is
keep up?
phenomenal. Can
Right.
they score 45
Right.
points a game? So
Right.
I think you got two teams whose weaknesses will go against the other strengths.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch. I honestly won't call it. I think it'll be a fun game.
Yeah. What you got, Kenny?
I think DeAndre Williams is the key to this game here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the X factor. He's the most gifted player on the field almost every time he steps on the field.
Right.
And it's his senior season. I mean, I
Right.
think there's some sentiment there. I mean,
Yeah.
he won 2 years ago.
Right.
Lost a really tough playoff game last year that I did the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
I think you have that in your mind when that happens, especially as a sense of urgency your senior year. So I'm going to go with Andrew Williams for sure in this game, and I love the job that he's done up there in Anna over there. He's done it quietly.
He's my favorite player in Texas high school football, DeAndre Williams. Man. Shout out to him.
Well, I'll be devil's advocate for this. I was at the Walnut Grove game. Walnut Grove stuck with that run game. So, I think, Coach Colvin and those guys, they know if they run the football, they can wear them down. That was a good game. That was was the difference because, DeAndre Williams had his way in the first half, but they kind of, made some adjustments, got everybody staying upfield, not letting him get out as much in the second half.
Right.
And then that running game with Cam Newton just kind of wore him down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think Cam Newton could be up for Player of the Year in the state of Texas.
Sure. Ollie Gordon-esque.
Yeah,
absolutely.
40, I think it was 50-something touches in that game.
Absolutely.
11 catches and 40 carries or something.
He carried them, and he's been carrying them all year.
He's
been doing a yeoman's you know what I'm saying? Like he had 42 carries in that game.
Yeah. Unreal.
But also that was the first game that they played a full game. They've been blowing everybody out.
For sure. Walnut Grove did not have a tough schedule up until the last 3 weeks where they played everybody. But we'll get to Walnut Grove.
Well, talk about it. Seguin is no slouch though.
No.
Coach Gordon has got these guys playing back. They got one of their guys back last week in Bly, the safety, who had a big game. Yeah. I think and they played them last year and lost by a few points. Same matchup. But I don't know. I like Walnut Grove. I've seen them a couple times. Hayes Hackney is that steady Eddie with it. Hayden Cooley, another 2027.
Hayden Cooley.
He's a dude. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Hatcher on that defense, the linebacker position, Kenny.
Well, it's just that they're playing in their backyard. They put up arena football numbers when they play, and they play at Children's Medical.
Beautiful stadium.
I do love the job that they've done at Arlington Segee the last couple of years. I mean, you could see them getting back to being where they're going to be, a prevalent dog in the playoffs going forward.
Right.
But I just think that you're just asking too much for them to try to go up to Prosper and beat those boys. I just don't see it.
Well, we're going to jump to Region 2. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the usual suspects are there, and I know who I believe is coming out of there. But this is what I'm asking. Texas High, can you please come? So I've been trying to see Texas High for 2 years, and they go over there to Louisiana, and they lose to P&G. I want to see these boys. You know what I'm saying? They got Lake Creek, Montgomery, which is a good team. You know what I'm saying? Terrell's undefeated in this bracket. P&G is there. Nacogdoches is a dangerous team as well.
I've heard a team to watch out for.
Yeah, for sure. The Dragons. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is South Oak Cliff all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's theirs to lose.
It's theirs to lose.
Terrell's done a heck of a job.
Job.
He might get Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
I would not disagree with that.
I agree. They got a running back.
Ashley and Hambrick. They bring the hammer. Both of them averaging over 100.
Speed. He can go, and he's only a sophomore. Yeah. Where was he? I'm telling you. And listen, Terrell's they've been talking a little bit. They say they want that smoke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we know the Bears will give you that smoke. Sure. They back down from no one.
They're not hiding from anything.
They ain't hiding from nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those guys.
Best dressed.
They fly. They're gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? But it's the mindset of everything. You know what I'm saying? They prepare early in the year for this. This is what they build for.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Texas High, Huntsville, could be a couple of people. Now, Midlothian Heritage, they started out shaky, but they came back strong. What do you think about Midlow in that region?
I like their district they're in. It's not a talented in terms of statewide, but it's competitive.
Right.
And I think when you get those games in every other week, you're playing a tough game. It prepares you for the playoff run.
Right.
And I think that's going to help them out. Of course, all roads in that region go through South Oak Cliff.
Absolutely.
But hey, get to Thanksgiving, you know, and celebrate. Be happy.
Yeah.
Didn't we do that Suffolk Midland Heritage game a couple years ago? All right, Midlothian Heritage has nothing to worry about Friday against Hillcrest.
Yeah, for sure.
It's next week.
That is a scrimmage.
It's next week.
It's the following week that they've got it buttoned down and then get ready to play. But yes, I mean, I can remember sitting in Memorial Stadium going, they got a 10-point lead at South Oak Cliff at halftime. I was like, and I just showed up because we did some games at Choctaw earlier that day.
Yeah, I was there.
And they poked the bear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they poked the bear, and the bear came out in that second half and laid a big old hammer on him.
Yeah, he got
yes,
naked.
yes. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he took off everything.
So
know
with
what
you,
I'm saying?
I feel the same way, and I think with South Oak Cliff, to me, it's all about if Trotter just hand off,
Yeah.
throw screen, bubble screens, because there's not a team in that region that can go up and down the field and score against South Oak Cliff's defense.
No, it's not happening.
No, and I think P&G last year had a better chance to do it.
Yeah.
And South Oak Cliff was really pissed off last year.
They
and,
bullied them balls.
and so this year, I don't think they're as good as they were last. So
P&G?
Yeah, I don't think it's. Gonna
Well,
be
I mean, you can never count them out because the coaching staff. That
yeah,
they
for
have.
sure. They have the culture.
They can have the culture. You know what I'm
The
saying?
only team that's actually kind of gone toe-to-toe with them on that level,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
right.
physicality-wise, on
Absolutely.
both
Right.
sides of the line of scrimmage. There
Right.
was no fear. I think South Oak Cliff
Yeah.
in the last few years can step on the field, and the fear gave them 14
They've got
points.
6A offense and defensive line.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they got fear
Yeah.
before they get out of the locker room.
Yeah.
It's 14
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
P&G, no, they ain't none.
Yeah,
It's
they-
none
they-
of that.
they
No,
come
no,
ready.
no. That's even. It's 0-0
Yeah,
until we get that flip.
absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna skate over Region 3 a little bit. I mean,
Randall, I would call it.
let's just say it and get it out the way. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to somebody today. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. I think Waco U's a good team, and so is Marshall. Bastrop is probably the unknown in that district. You know, I mean that
I think
region.
they have Waller this first round. So.
Yeah. They got San Antonio Burbank. Bastrop does.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
You got
my
Liberty
apologies.
Hill, Brenham, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And Texas City's not a slouch, but I think it's gonna be Randall and Iowa Colony for a fourth matchup. I don't expect the fumbles to be an issue in that first game. And Randall came back. The coaching staff is elite on both sides of this football for both teams. I think everything's pointing to that rematch that everybody wants to see.
That was a great
That's what
first
I said.
game.
Yeah,
That was a great
Yeah.
first game.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it was college coaches everywhere on that side.
I believe
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying not to jinx it because that's what we need to see.
Yeah. That's worth the price of admission. Even though I don't have to pay, I mean, I would pull up for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about 4A real quick before we get out of here, guys. I know it's getting late. You know what I'm saying? 4A D1, I think it's the usual suspects there too as well. Stephenville, quietly 10-0.
Yes.
I think the Yellow Jackets, and you shaking your head, you know something.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've had a very impressive season. Man, Region 1, I think they've got a chance to take it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think
West
so.
Plains may be the thorn in their side, though.
Yeah.
That's a team out west. They got a physical offensive
They gave
line.
Solana the only real trouble last year.
Yeah. West Plains is a team, but I think you're looking at in that bracket is Stephenville and West Plains.
Yeah.
Springtown in Region 2, the Porcupines.
Porcupine.
Yeah, they've been balling. You know what I'm saying? I like Springtown, but Panther Creek is the anomaly in this one. I think it depends on which Panther Creek team shows up. I was at the Solana game.
They haven't been the same since that Salina game.
Well, Solana is physical.
I know.
They went back to old school football. You know what I'm saying? And the fourth quarter, the backup running back came in and scored 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Evan Cohn, yeah.
They didn't miss a beat. You was there.
I was there. Yes,
Talk
sir.
about it.
Yeah, man. So Panther Creek, like we said, they just haven't quite been the same since line.
And then Sulphur Springs, I think they took a page out of Solana's book in that second half, especially the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have their starting quarterback either.
This
Right.
is Deuce Timmons. Was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Panther Creek is just right there. But if they don't get it this year because they're losing a
Mr.
lot
Webb.
and they're losing Donovan Webb,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I think the quarterback's a senior as well. It's just they haven't been able to handle in the trenches. That's their Achilles heel. Now, I think Carter will give them a little run. Shout out to Swag. I saw the show Sunday a little bit. Coach Passer is really on Carter and trying to sell me a wolf ticket, but I'm not going to buy it.
No, man. Shout out to those guys supporting that program. Basketball season comes around, they're the talk of the town.
Right.
For
Right.
now, Panther Creek.
You mentioned Alvarado, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say major props to Sulphur Springs being able to kind of bounce back and play,
Right.
losing your quarterback like
Right.
you did.
Right.
A lot of times season gets tanked.
Right.
Especially
that
a
late
player
in the
of
year.
that- of that impact.
magnitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's Solana in Region 2 for sure. Alvarado may be there as well in Springtown. Alvarado's got a great quarterback that's a junior as well.
KJ Jenkins, no interceptions, 35 touchdowns. That's
6'3", 6'4".
It's not like he's not throwing the ball.
No,
They're throwing the ball.
They're throwing the ball.
So,
the Indians are not to sleep on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think they'll be right there at the end. Whether they can run with the big dogs, we'll find out sooner or later. You know what I'm saying?
I knew Alvarado was good when they beat Kennedale 63-3. I think
you don't beat Kennedale like that.
no.
Yeah.
Now Kennedale this year, though, in their 4 losses, I believe they were outscored 152-20.
Right.
So that tells you that
Right.
they're not Kennedale of
Right.
of past. But
of
yes.
course.
Yeah, I think Alvarado's the most impressive team to me this year because losing Cartier last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Texas.
Everything.
Texas. Yeah.
And you think, how are they going to bounce back? And then DeMarcus Belton had 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing yards in regular season for
Right.
their first time in school history.
Right.
They've picked it up, and that defense is there. It's going to come down to the trenches, though. They don't.
Absolutely.
They don't have the big offensive and defensive linemen to deal with the Salinas and
Yeah.
Sulphur Springs. So
Yeah.
I
It
think
comes.
it'll
I
come
think
down
it
to
comes into exactly in the depth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Salina can run 2 or 3 backs at you. Of course, they got Bo Bentley, the OU commit. You know, they can toss it.
Villarilla.
LJ Taylor's a guy for Salina that not a lot of people have been talking about. I've been impressed with him in the entire year, and I saw him play on both sides of the football. You know what I'm
Gutierrez.
saying? A guy.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of people talk to.
No.
Yeah. And their offensive line had to replace 5 linemen this year. And that was the big question.
Right.
And that offensive line, I mean, they're bigger than last year.
Linebacker
Right.
for them
And
is
they're-
really good.
Yeah,
Right.
man,
Right.
they're balling. They're
Right,
balling.
right. I think you know we're
Man,
looking
I guess
at
the
it.
X factor is just trying to get over all the.
Well,
off
yeah,
the field
that's
stuff.
a whole nother show.
Luckily for Salina, they are cruising to the fourth round.
Well,
fifth round.
I also think that coaching staff is going to rally the troops.
Yeah.
My guy,
Oh,
Coach
sure, you have
Grayson
to.
over there, has
Yeah.
been over there
Shout
for a
out Coach
while.
Grayson.
You know what I'm saying? And I think they're going to rally the troops. They have to. This is where you bring your team together and cancel out all the outside noise.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what's going on in that locker room. You cancel out the outside noise. And then, you guys know this, been in this for a long time. Salina is that kind of community.
Yep.
Sure.
That's going to rally around those kids and give them a chance to fight. Now, we're going to skate on 4AD2 real quick. I think Brock, you know what I'm saying, in Region 1 is probably the creme de la creme.
Wait, Frazier, man.
What a guy. That's not a people don't talk about him, Solomon.
And it's small. The smaller you get in this football, the bigger impact one guy can make.
Absolutely.
So, man, shout out to Brock and what they're doing. They're going back to Brock of old. Brock is
Right.
one of those teams that is
Defense,
consistently-
football.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
football. I mean, football and basketball.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing deep in the playoffs.
They
Yeah.
feed off
Shout
the
out to
energy
them.
of their head coach.
Absolutely.
I mean, Brian McDonald has played extremely well. I mean, Coit, I can't say his last name.
Absolutely.
Hey, sometimes it's like
It's like that. Yeah.
sorry, mama. I don't wanna
Absolutely.
mess it up.
But I'd rather do that than butcher the
Yeah,
butcher.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But, out of all of this, I still think it's Carters. You know what I'm saying? KJ Edwards is playing at a high level right now. I don't know if y'all seen the tape, but he's playing on another level right
Two
now.
P5 linebackers. And they kind of started off you watch that Kilgore game, it's like, man, they had some games they should have been more dominant, but
Right.
they're consistently winning.
The Quaver's
Don't-
back.
Don't
Yep.
sleep on Pleasant Grove, though.
Yeah,
You can't never
my-
sleep on them.
Don't
You can't.
sleep
And
on them.
Athens.
Yeah.
Athens is a team that you need to know about coming up, but I still think Carthage is the creme de la creme.
I do think Pleasant Grove is the dark horse. If
the
anybody's
dark-
going to
if
do it,
anybody's
it's
gonna-
going to be Pleasant Grove.
Right.
And they lost
shout
an
out Kenny.
18-6
I think the
game to
last time that
Kilgore.
Carthage
I
lost was to
mean,
Pleasant Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
if
it was.
anybody's going
Yes,
to do
it
it,
was.
it's going to
Yeah.
be that team.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Jet, you got it. I mean, they're loaded there,
They are
obviously, but I mean, you can't. And what about Waco, La Vega?
Yeah.
You never can sleep on them. Jabari Thornton's one of the best athletes in the state,
Yep.
for sure.
I
You know what I'm
mean-
saying? They got athletes everywhere.
Yep.
And they'll be there at the end, but you just,
Donnie Hyde,
Carthage
is he
went-
coming back?
Yeah.
I mean,
know he can get there.
You
It's
know he
just-
can get there. I mean, now last year he ran into a buzzsaw,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but I don't think anybody was beating Carthage in the championship game
Nah.
last year.
No, they won another level last year, and that's why I think we're looking at some orange and white coming back. You know what I'm saying? Not orange, red and white. Sorry,
white.
red and white coming
I
back.
know what you mean.
East
Yeah,
Texas,
what you
I mean,
mean.
you can flip a coin on any corner in East
Yeah.
Texas and get a dog. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I think that carries weight across the state of Texas, not just in the DFW area, but East Texas. That's what you can think. You know what I'm saying?
4AD2 Region 2 is just probably the
Man,
most
you can
competitive region
You
in
get
high school
Pleasant
football.
Grove and Carthage in that second round.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a
hey,
Saturday afternoon.
that's
game
worth
in
the
the
tank of
Pines.
gas.
Sunnyvale down
Yeah.
there. Man,
That's
Yeah.
at the Pines in the
Yeah.
second round.
Yeah, I think they played in Longview the last time.
Gibson, Gibson, Surratt.
Yeah.
Woo.
You got to pull up for that. You know what I'm saying?
Worth the gas money.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Might have to go make a road trip.
Make a road trip.
Make a road trip
Yeah.
if it's on that Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Well, man, listen, I appreciate both of y'all for coming through, man. We're going to do this again probably a little bit after Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? This is a meeting of the minds. Listen, when you get guys like this on camera and you got to listen up to what they saying, man. Shout out to Pastor Tussin finally showed up. Shout out Pastor in the game. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Matt Bryce in the building as well. Let me see. J-Mac, go ahead.
Give a shout out to Matt Davis, and he helped me out on some credentials for South Grand Prairie.
Say less.
Much appreciated, man. That's
Absolutely.
my dog, man.
Yeah. That's where you're going this week?
Yeah, I'm going to South Grand Prairie.
That's a good one.
Okay. Lake Highlands.
Lake Highlands,
Yeah.
And then I'll be at Allen and
Louisville
tomorrow.
Okay. Where you going this week, Solomon?
Working. Be
Okay.
watching from the house.
Okay, say less.
I'm watching everything.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I'm kind of torn. I want to see what this Crandall team looks like south of Cliff, but I'm gonna flip y'all wig a little bit. I'm thinking about Arlington Heights Brewer Friday. You know what I'm saying? In Farrington Field, there's two teams that are close in proximity. Those kids know
Bear
each other.
Cave guys.
Absolutely. Shout out to Brewer. Got a really good running back, Cameron Coleman. You know, a lot of people not talking about. You know what I'm saying? And Heights has been a playoff team for the last few years. They made a big run. I think 3 rounds deep. So I might slide to that Friday, you know what I'm saying, and I might slide to South
I'll say
Cliff.
this. You got a better chance of seeing Arlington Heights next week than you do of seeing Crandall next week.
Absolutely.
If you gotta pick one,
I already know.
see
You
Crandall.
know what I'm saying? I already know. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, man, no slight to Crandall, but it is what it is. You know what I'm
is what it
saying?
is.
The Bears been hibernating for 7 weeks.
They're ready.
They ready to come out and
Ready
scratch
for a
and claw.
football game.
They ready for something. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the boys. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, this is the On Your Mark Show, powered and sponsored by Epic Sports Apparel. Live from the Fishbowl Radio. We actually gave you a lot of content. We usually, Kenny knows, we try to cut it in an hour. You know what I'm saying? But I knew today we was going to talk a lot about everything that's going on, and we're going to come back next week at you, man. Got a special guest next week. Go to onthemarksports.com and definitely check out everything that's been going on. Better be following these two guys. Tell them where they can follow you at.
You can find me on X/Twitter at Solomon Mays DFW.
Got some of the best scouting reports. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he does. You can catch me at Kenny Matthews on Twitter. Phone number 214-704-0524. I'm old school.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Man, shout out to my guy Man and Mike taking us out, and Sky Rap on the visuals. We out.
Hey, this Manna Mike. I'm not sure what you own, but this here is on the mark. Like a spiral from a 5-star recruit, we throwing darts. Really focused. WD-40 couldn't stop the way we grinded. In the trenches, putting that work in. I relate to all my linemen. This is for the men. The boys do not belong here. Tiptoeing to the top. We doing cone drills. The hottest show in the world. You don't even gotta search. Steady putting in work. You see the sweat up on my shirt. They wasn't aware of us at first. We wasn't on their radar. Now every play that we make, they gon' say, "Oh, similar to a razor blade." We gon' stay sharp. The news ain't official if it's not on the mark.